Speaking of Jade.
Well, yes, I wanted to
um,
see how you transitioned to this.
yeah, because we were talking about Jade. Apparently, we stepped into an episode of like Criminal Minds or something because she was found in the parking lot, like she was pushed off a building
She
onto a
looked dead.
car. Yeah, it was just
She looked dead.
I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, it was kind of weird because it felt like very dramatic for just like a parking lot brawl. And it's like she's on top of a car with like a broken windshield. It's like, where did she come from? Like, how did she, and why is her leg like that? It was just an odd
It was
moment.
so
I don't know.
dramatic. It was like she was thrown off
A building.
the loading dock. Well,
Yes.
thrown off, but she was thrown off.
Yeah.
Literally.
So this has eliminated her from the women's U.S. title tourney, and so there have been plenty of rumors about who it could be. We have the bad guy saying it is Lash Legend, which is, I mean, that is certainly possible, given that her and what's her name? Jakara were beefing with the women's tag team champions, so that makes sense. I also was kind of entertained by the idea of it being Naomi or Bianca. Or
yes, Bianca. That's my guess. I was gonna write it like Survivor, but
yeah,
no,
so
it's Bianca.
Well, did it happen after she lost her match?
No, it happened during. Bianca left. Okay.
Oh, okay. So Bianca it's possible left. She did it before.
They did a cutaway where it was after a spot, and then Bianca is getting into either a pin or setting up a finishing move. We get, as the fans watching at home, the camera cut to commotion going on backstage. You see Jade Cargill dead, just on the car, and then Bianca's like, what? And I want to hear what you are saying about, because I think we're on the same.
Yeah, because there's rumors about it being Charlotte Flair.
Oh, no.
Yes. The reason why people are thinking it might be Charlotte Flair is because of the image that they use to promote the match. Looks like the photo of Charlotte Flair for Jade versus Michin versus Piper Niven. When they replaced Jade, the silhouette they used looks like it could be Charlotte.
Oh,
not to mention the bad guy brings up a good point, I think. Calvin, sorry. This also calls into question Jade's availability for Survivor Series. I guess that wouldn't work for it to be Charlotte unless Charlotte comes back and is like, I didn't do anything, No,
I see.
I need Charlotte back as a heel, though. So
yeah, Charlotte just needs to be a heel. That's where she is at her best. I need it.
It's because it's so natural for her.
Yeah, but authenticity is your best trait.
Yeah, just accept the fact.
If you're a human,
accept it. Yeah, so I don't know where this is gonna go. I kind of wonder. They have to have some sort of big plans for this, because they're not just going to take Jade out of a tournament like this. They're not going to take her out of a pay-per-view appearance like this. I mean, they're trying to build her to be a star, obviously. So they're not just going to take her out of these potentially big moments without there being some sort of like massive plan in the process. So that makes me wonder even more like what this could be. And I guess in a way, even though this, when we first started talking about this, it is kind of funny, like when you reflect upon it and you see the photo of her, it's like at the beginning of an SVU episode, and it's funny, but it's interesting because we're sitting here being like, it could be this person or this person or this person, or what if it was this, and why, so like that does mean that like, okay, they did a good job, at least in that regard, to like setting it up and bringing intrigue into it, because there's a lot of possibilities. Mr. Anderson says he thinks it was Bianca.
That's what Mr. Anderson, dude. We are on the same wavelength, because if Mello can turn on Trick and be right there.
Nathaniel is thinking it might be Bianca as well.
I do like the Charlotte. If it's not Bianca who did it, I'm so in on Charlotte
Well, okay,
because
so
that would be
this is the thing about it being Bianca, which I think that we assumed that the eventual breakup of their tag team would be that someone turned heel on the other one, because that's just the traditional path that tag teams go down when they want to break them up. So you thought that that was going to happen. However, it seemed like safer in, I think, most people's minds for that to be Jade, only because we haven't seen Bianca be a heel like almost ever. I think she had some time in NXT as a heel, but definitely not on the main roster. And it seems like she might be one of those people that is untouchable, where it's like, oh, they might want to keep her as like the consistent female babyface because people love her. She has an infectious personality. Like, it's hard for people to boo her. But I wouldn't say it's off limits. Obviously, people thought that about Bayley, and Bayley thrived as a heel. So it's definitely possible. But in this scenario, she would be the heel. So that is what makes this whole situation interesting, because then if that's the case, then yes, they would have to give up their tag team titles, you would assume, because they're not going to get along. She tried to take her out of off the planet.
Yeah.
This
And now I'm thinking back on how it couldn't be Bianca because like that makes sense. But all that comes to mind is that this is bigger than the championship. You know what I mean? Like it's bigger than that because Bianca's like, well, I'm bigger than the championship, but you are not. But like, there's something there, but it does seem a bit far fetched.
Yeah, because I think we haven't seen enough to suggest that there's beef between them. Like, they're still the champions. I would
And they're
think
still kind of thriving.
I would think that this would make more sense if they recently lost the titles and it was Jade's fault, or it's like, oh, Jade didn't kick out, or Jade didn't get in the ring in time to break up the pin. You know, something like where Bianca, something as minute as that Bianca could twist and say, oh, it's your fault that we lost the titles again. Maybe she's the reason they lost them the first time. I can't remember, but something like that I feel like would make more sense. This coming out of nowhere doesn't make a lot of sense. So to me, it feels like it's going to be somebody random. And the fact that Charlotte has already teased coming back, it's been almost a year that she's been out. The silhouette looking like Charlotte, it's possible.